Name?
Pugsy Pelagiano, sir.
Waiting room number 2. Next.
¡Glores! ¡Glores! ¿Estás... Glores? Where'd you go this time?
Alex, you had mentioned on our break that you were the master of playing through this game the most quickly.
That's right.
I think you should talk about that, because when I played this game, I think it took me a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm interested in playing the remastered version to see how long it takes me. I think it'll be, 12 hours or more, but when we were in test, obviously we were playing it, every single day, so we know it inside and out, but when a brand new build came down, we always had to play through from beginning to end, and I was the person that always ended up doing that because I could do it the fastest, and I got down to just a little over an hour playthrough time. I want to say like an hour and 10 minutes was my fastest time. Yeah, it was something else. I knew the whole game, like instinctually, and now I barely remember any of it.
You must have been able to skip through cutscenes or something.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah,
and you can skip dialogue too.
I think the cutscene tape that we received, so we could watch them, I want to say it was almost 2 hours long.
Oh,
it was
cool.
It was like an hour and 45 minutes or something.
That's really
good
cool.
Lord.
I'd like to watch that. I guess we're watching it right now.
Oh, Gladys would love these. Locked. Probably to keep out the Yeti. Nothing in the cab but donut boxes and coffee-to-go cups. It's full of caskets. Hello? Whew, they're empty.
It's funny because Pete was always great at knowing. Not only would he know it was going to slip, he would always say, no, and then he'd spew out a date, and he was always within weeks. He always, and sometimes that date was way past where we were being told the date was. In fact, it always was. But he was always right, and I don't know if it was just a sixth sense or if it was.
Well, I remember specifically what you're talking about. I'm not going to be completely correct, but early in the year, I predicted that it would be June.
Yeah.
Which was about 2 months past our deadline, and I felt very bold doing that.
Totally.
But I felt pretty on solid ground doing that. Of course, this was internal, just within the Sound group.
Yeah, we never would
share
say that
this
to you
with other people. And Pete immediately fired back, "Day of the Dead." We all said, "What? Day of the Dead? What is that? November 4th?"
Yeah, like 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
November 5th.
And so, you know what? He was within. We'd have to look at Wikipedia. Do
Yeah.
you remember the release date? I don't. remember.
It was October 20.
Close enough.
He was
It was
within
October.
a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He was within a couple of weeks, and that was about March that he did that.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's quite amazing
Yeah.
that he was able to see that distance. I don't know how he did it, but he said it with conviction too. That's the funniest thing of all, and he ended up being right.
Looks like standard DOD issue. It's full of caskets. Hello? Whew, they're empty. Hello? Wow, no echo. We truly are at the edge of the world. Hello? Wow, no echo. We truly are at the edge of the world. That's the road we came in on. Nothing out there but snow and a perfectly good pair of sunglasses. Hello? We truly are. Bruno? Bruno Martinez?
You were the guy who packed me in there. You could have at least given me a magazine. 4 years with nothing to read but this damn mug. What are you doing here? And if you were headed this way, why didn't you offer me a lift? Ah! Wait, I'm getting out of here. This world's for suckers.
There's some packing foam in here with a Bruno-shaped dent in it. It's the mug I gave Bruno, and it's full of that foam I packed him in. I drink it, but I don't want to get a packing foam mustache. I already got a mug full of that stuff.
Manny!
What's wrong?
Go up there and see!
Hey, where is everybody?
Waiting area 2.
How long do they have to wait in there?
Until they have tickets. They were issued tickets on the number 9, and they don't have them now. The punishment for selling double-end tickets is very severe.
They didn't sell their tickets were stolen.
By who?
Hector Le Mans stole them to sell to rich people who don't deserve them.
That might be them now. Let's see just what they deserve.
It looks a little ungainly, but I bet that hat is really warm.
The guy who played these Peruvian flutes, I believe, is from Peru. To look at the credits again, he lives in the Mission. It's like the whole Grim score lives in the Mission.
And it's also spiritual in the way that it feels. That's how you feel like you feel like this is the end of the game, because when you get to the part in the story where like people are in the clouds or in the heavens, and you start to hear the pan flute music, you know, you're kind of near the end of the story somehow.
Right.
But then you go back and there's a whole nother year, which creates a feeling of the game being super long. Like I'm playing Mario right now, and there's more and more levels. After the end of the story, there's more and more, which makes it feels really long. But if it ends at level 5 and there's 2 more levels. But if you had 7 levels, people wouldn't appreciate it. But if you ended at 5 and then you have there's more levels, it feels really long.
It's like it's the encore effect.
Mm-hmm.
I get the feeling that operating that switch is out of my powers. Was it you that made that switch point straight down?
The living train does what it does.
Well, it's not that I'm afraid or anything, but there are easier ways into the station, and I'm not walking back to El Marro. These must go all the way back to El Marro. It looks a little ungainly, but I bet that hat is really warm. What happened to that train?
Your destiny cannot be purchased.
I don't understand. Why has everyone been detained?
Given a ticket, a soul may not sell it.
They didn't sell their tickets. Someone else is trying to.
Bring the tickets, that is all.
The tickets are in El Marro. How can I get there quickly?
These rails are already there.
Well, thanks for the help.
The gate opens. The gate closes. It does not help.
Oh, not again. Hey, How'd you get free?
I was born free, Boatnik. Nobody gave me no ticket, so nobody can take it away.
So what are you pacing around here for?
Trying to unwind a little bit. All those years circling in one direction. Gotta even out my life in this world before I go on to the next, you know. Well, that ought to do her.
Goodbye, Geppetto.
Happy trails, Captain. And thanks for setting me straight back there in the drink. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under some seaweed. No, I'm gonna let it shine.
I hereby dub thee Geppetto's Fountain in honor of the strange, oily film he left upon your waters. I could march around in it like Geppetto, but I think a better way to even out my life would be to go get those tickets.
Now that's the ashtray that is the very first shot of the game and the very last shot of the game are the same, just like in Sugarland Express. So the shot of the little figurines around that ashtray is the same as the band that stands around this fountain later.
Right.
That's how you prove that you took at least one film school class in college. You make the first shot the same as the last shot. Basic stuff.
I could actually do it. I could walk out of this world right now and not look back. But I can't. I can't do it. I'm not leaving without the people I promised to save. Wow, this mural has all the stuff we didn't put in the brochures. I don't need a map now. I'm here.
I remember what you said once about playing, I think it was the Day of the Dead theme, and you got the band to play it, and then you asked them, like, hey, guys, would you, something you might play, like in your own band? And they said, maybe on Halloween.
Yeah, that's right.
Which it doesn't sound like a Halloween piece of music to me, but I guess they were just saying it was freaky.
Yeah.
Or unusual.
Recently, I was visited by a bird with a human head. Do you know such a bird, Manuel Calavera?
No. How do you know my...
He knew you, and for you he left this note.
It looks a little ungainly, but I bet that hat is really warm. I know what you're up to. I've been watching. Stay there. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly, Hector Le Mans. Híjole. I know what you're up to. I've been yours. I think this is something I should keep to myself. It looks a little ungainly. I know what I've been. Stay yours truly, Hector Le Mans. But I bet that hat is really warm.
Oh, gran demonio roedor. Oh, gran demonio roedor.
Glottis.
Hear the name of the Great One. Glottis. Glottis.
What's happening?
How many days has this grand demon gone without driving?
Well, we've been hiking for months.
Months? Oh, then the noble one will surely die.
But...
Leslie, I remember how you worked to keep everyone together and to help the team snuff out bugs and get this thing finished up. And I have to confess something after all these years, that as we would observe bugs in the game, that translated merely to us as, okay, fellas, we have more time. Let's get back to work.
Yeah.
Let's make this stuff even better. And so we'd see someone's head float off their body and just exit the screen while their body continued to remain on screen. And we'd say, that's at least another month.
So that's how you got more time.
We knew what the schedule was by just simply playing the game.
I know what you're up to. Hey, how about a gondola ride, Gremlins?
He's too big. The gondola is too slow.
Gondola? gondolas? I knew we should have checked this side of the mountain before we walked up. I think that's what Gladys would look like if he hadn't drunk his milk growing up. What's wrong with him?
Do you not know the one purpose, the one skill, the one desire of this humble spirit?
Yes, but we've been so far away from cars and civilization for so long.
Why did he ever leave his home?
I got him fired, and then I needed a ride. Oh, Gladys, what have I done to you? Can you cure him?
His spirit has fallen so low, normal driving would not cure him in time. He needs to go faster. Faster!
Do you have any vehicles here that we could use to revive him?
Only the trucks that deliver the souls, but they are slow. So slow.
Who are you guys?
We are mechanics, same as he. But we have never before seen one of our kind so large.
I've got to go see what I can do.
Come back quickly, for his time here is not long.
I've got to go see what I can do.
Come for him.
Gladys, I'm sorry. Manny. Are you in much pain, my friend?
Only because I let you down, Manny.
Why didn't you tell me you were sick?
Couldn't stop. Have to save everyone.
What can I get you? Will anything help?
I need to race to fly like the old days, Manny. In the bone wagon.
But the bone wagon's not here, carnal.
Maybe I'll see her on the other side.
Can't we make a new hot rod?
Those days are done, Manny. No more hot rod. Hey, what's that red thing?
The gondola?
Sweet decal work. Listen, fellas, somebody get a pen. There it is, my final work. It could save me if you have the right, fuel.
What fuel, Gladys? Gladys! It looks like blueprints for a rocket sled. It looks like blueprints for a rocket sled. They're brilliant. Gladys, what fuel? I knew we should have checked this side of the mountain before we walked up. It's full of rags. I hate it when people leave their crusty mugs out in the break room. Always a good idea to have a clean rag around.
There was somebody that will remain nameless, but I remember that they said, because they come out of advertising, and they said, well, there's 3 types of animation. There are dogs and cats who chase each other. There are dogs and cats that talk to each other, and then there are logos that spin around. Those are the 3 types of animation. So I guess we need to put
that
change.
made one potentially amazing animator quit.
Yes.
That ended up being
Pixar.
a soup at Pixar. So
yes.
You can do your own homework to find out who that was.
It's a lovely rag. Your mother doesn't work here. Since nobody listened to my last warning about keeping this refrigerator clean, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to lock it until some of you grow up. Signed, the Facilities Department. Your mother doesn't... Signed, the... It's full of rags. Well, it's good to know they recycle oil out here at the end of the world.
You can hear your brother's charango. In this, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it was a second ago. I think I heard it. It's somewhere in the Mayan train station music.
This better not stain my pocket. It's an oily rag that I made all by myself. How eerie. They have the same tool cabinets as Glottis. How eerie. They lock up their tools just like Glottis.
What was in that mug? Something that powerful could fuel a rocket. If only we had more.
Well, I could score you a couple of truckloads if you're interested.
We shoot you now like an arrow into the wind. May you pierce the heart of the wind itself and drink the blood of flight. Speed is the food of the great Glottis. Speed bring you life. Come back to us someday.
At least most of the way. Hey, look! We're already to Rubacava. Manny? Manny? Manny, where are you? Manny, I'm frightened! Rubacava! What a town! Remember the glory days, Manny?
Long gone, my friend. There's nothing here for us now.
Except maybe our old car.
Dios mío!
She's been
booby-trapped.
By who? Who?
Those dominoes are like one long fuse. I'm not setting foot down there. The slightest bump could start those dominoes tumbling.
Yeah, this is Alan Blumenfeld, who really brought a lot of heart to Glottis.
Yeah, totally.
He's just a real sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
What a trooper. Looks like Domino left his calling card.
But how? I saw him torn to shreds.
He must have done this on his last trip through town.
Someone told me like this was the moment they cried in the game, just hearing how scared Glottis was in the scene, because he gets really frightened. And it's actually a reference to a claim that a babysitter made about me when they were babysitting me. They said, "Oh, gee, you were so scared when your parents." You would sit there and you'd say, "Mother, mother, I'm frightened." And I was like, "No, okay. First of all, I never said that. I never said mother."
Yeah, that's suspicious right there.
But it got to be this family joke. "Mother, I'm frightened. I'm frightened, mother." And so that line actually got in the game.
Poor guy, so nervous. I think he's gonna be sick. Don't panic. Maintenance has gotten pretty lax around here, apparently. That's the folding bridge that connects this pier to the base of the cat track, or at least it used to. That goes to the upper dock, but nothing's docked there now. It's locked, but there's nothing up there anyway. That goes to the upper dock, but nothing's docked there now.
To some extent, Grim Fandango is a bit of a mutt. It's got pieces of Jedi Knight, it's got pieces of Scum, it's got pieces of Outlaws, it's got pieces of, it's got IMUS coming in, and it's got the Lua language, so it was a game kind of made on a shoot,
I have to say, coming out of school, I felt super lucky to, first of all, be hired by LucasArts by some colleagues of mine who went to the same school, and to walk into this building and see all the concept art for this game on the walls. I was like a kid in a candy store. It was instant, euphoric inspiration, and I just felt like the luckiest guy in the world coming out of school, getting to work on a project of this caliber. It was beautiful.
I don't want to wake up Toto. Hello, operator? Yeah, it's me, Manny. I was just passing through town.
I am an artist.
Wow, still mad. I wonder if Inez has cooled off yet. I don't want to wake up Toto. I think these are binders of tattoo designs. They're labeled nautical and nice, and a third one just says Anchormania.
I am an artist.
Never get me under that thing. Liquid nitrogen, not to be used on bone. There can't be too much in there. I'd better save it. No, I don't want to disturb his grumpy little dreams. I don't want to wake up Toto.
Manuel Calavera? Well, what happened to the Limbo?
Hate to tell you, Velasco, but she went down at the Pearl. But we found a new ship, the SS La Mancha, and managed to...
The La Mancha? My old rusty bucket. Where is she?
Oh, well, we traded her in Puerto Zapato for a team of sled dogs.
That does it. I'm out of this stinking mob town.
But...
Thanks for finding my baby, Manny. Puerto Zapato, here I come.
Mob town?
Tim, how come you know so much about neurosis and psychosis? It's really.
I don't know if this is
quite
all.
striking.
I don't know if any of this is legitimate psychological knowledge or just what I learned from movies.
Well, speaking as sort of a crazy guy myself, it rings true to me.
It shone pale as bone as I stood there alone, and I thought to myself how the moon that night cast its light on my heart's true delight, and the reef where her body was strewn. Ah, not quite the same without old Velasco. It's locked. Maybe I'll just finish this for him. You'd think after 2 years he'd have the little SS Lumbago's lifeboats on at least. I'd drink it, but I'd probably get the SS Lumbago stuck in my throat.
Well, I think it's one of the real challenges for adventure games because so many things you make for an adventure game are single use. Like single use animation, single use scenes, single use textures. They're all like you do a first person shooter, you do, adventure game, like a platform or something like that. There's so many animations that get reused so many times throughout the whole game. And an adventure game, a huge amount of it is just custom throwaway, meant to be seen, once or twice, and occasionally, all the time, like walk cycles. But it's not like Mario. At the time they were doing Mario 64, and it's like Mario has a ridiculous number of animations, but it's a finite set, and it's like they can all be loaded at all times. In this game, you have to dynamically load all the animations as they're needed, and you have to make sure they're available before they're triggered, so you don't get these glitches, and while you wait for them. And a lot of them they're thrown away. They have to get, every single one has to be individually processed by a human to get them into the game and potentially rigged up. And that's one of the challenges of making adventure games, is that you have all these sort of custom things and you want to reuse them as much as possible. But in order to do that, you have to automate a lot of stuff, automate as much processing as you can. but you still have to have that ability to fix things. In film, we'll fix it in post. It's the same kind of thing. It's like we'll fix it in the engine, or we'll fix it in the tool, as opposed to we'll fix it in the source art.
And that's the like you can walk to any room you want, and like all the little one-off assets. I think that's a unique challenge technically to adventure games that a lot of other games, other genres don't really have to address. But we're constantly like loading in custom stuff and kicking custom stuff out. And on this game, memory is tight. You walk into this room and we need 16-bit flipbooks of doors opening and closing and one-off animations of you may go and play the piano, you may not go and play the piano. And there's all this technical kind of tomfoolery going on of trying to get the content that somebody
might be used,
might not be used. You might just be running through this room to some other room,
place, yeah.
And it's not like loading up a level in a first-person shooter where you're like, okay, I know what's going to be in front of the user at any one point in time, and we're going to use the same bad guy 50 times over. So I just need to get the stuff to run the bad guy in memory. This was this constant dance of like just-in-time loading and management of stuff, because you could walk into this room and spend 10 minutes in this room and explore every bit of content that this room could offer you, or you could just be running through on your way to somewhere else.
Back to this other puzzle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I offended Tim once when I said, Tim, you should write scripts for movies. This is such a great idea. And Tim said, I make video games. I want to make video games. Why are you telling me to do something different? And I felt bad.
You cried that time?
No, I only cry at night, late at night. But Tim
was often at the office at nighttime. I remember him.
Oh yes,
locking his office door and me trying to peek in between the curtains he laid over top of the glass, and he would be in there for days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
When he finally got down to doing the dialogue stuff, I remember that it was always like a pressure valve that blew on him at one time or another, and he would just lock himself in and churn out this amazing dialogue.
No, I mean, I think Tim was a very intimidating person. To try and be funny around Tim was hard because he was so funny, and I never felt like I kind of rose to.
I relied on my funny Canadianness,
right,
and my looks. That was enough.
I think it was, yes, your biting wit.
I think I bested him one time with a facial expression that was not intentional.
What was the expression? Can you do it for the people on the commentary?
You'll see it in the game if you look hard enough.
Good Lord.
Amazing.
I drink it, but I'd probably get the SS Lumbago stuck in my throat. Blue Casket just doesn't have the zing of Calavera Cafe, you know? Blue Casket just doesn't have the zing of Calavera Cafe. Blue Casket. If only I'd named my club that instead. But no, I had to use my own name like an idiot.
But it was great. I mean, this Grim is definitely still sort of the most satisfying project I think I've ever worked on. It was just a lot of fun, and Cuban actors, American actors, Irish actors, a guy from Hungary. Just all over the place, just to bring that sort of diversity to it.
I remember some trickle-down drama from upstairs in the test pit towards the end where things didn't seem to be getting done as fast as whomever wanted them to be getting done, And I just remember, like, there was some question as to whether or not we'd have to cut a bunch of scenes or even a whole year from the game, or something, because stuff wasn't coming in.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Coffin shooter 1, 2, 3, just pour, chill, and serve. Coffin shooter 1, 2, 3, just pour, chill, and serve. That's what the lumbago diorama needed. Fake ocean water. Nothing in the dishwasher. Not to sound like a capitalist oppressor, but I have people who do that for me now. Ooh, food waste. As soon as I think of a use for stinky food waste, I'll give it a shot. Beware, for therein lie beatniks.
Calavera, what are you doing here? I heard you went pow in Zapato, Daddy.
Well, Hector Lemans tried and missed. Now it's my turn. I'm headed to El Maro to put him out of business.
Manny, that place has changed. You don't know what you're getting into. I'd better come with you. Just give me a minute to get ready.
Okay, but if you hear a loud explosion anytime soon, the trip's off. Ooh, smells like this door leads to the kitchen. One of these days I'm going in there.
Is it time to go yet?
No. We're having a little car trouble.
Come by when it's time.
It's locked. Due to the new curfew, elevator operation ceases at sunset. Curfew? Who's in charge of this place now?
Actually, I think it was funny when you came in and you were all excited about working on this game. Like, I really like adventure games. I want to do this kind of thing. I want drama in games. And I think about Telltale, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much in keeping. It was a long time ago. But I remember when you came in, it was like your game that you had worked on was like a helicopter game where you
Helicops.
Helicops. Yes. and it was like as far different from this as you could possibly imagine a game would be. And I would not have imagined that a person who worked on Helicops was actually interested in adventure games.
There weren't any games. All I wanted to do was play with little people and computers, and I had gotten to the point where I almost ended up working on a baseball game because that was the closest thing I could find to little people and computers. And that's when I saw this. I was just like, it doesn't matter. I have to work on this.
Not a good sign for Rubalcaba's organized labor movement. Hello, Terry? Not a good... Oh, Lola.
Yeah, the sprouting was came later as like a solution to a problem we were having narratively with the game, which is like, how do you make anything matter in the Land of the Dead?
Right.
Like, if you're going up against mobsters in a movie, usually you're afraid they're going to kill you or someone you love, right? Or break your thumbs. And Land of the Dead, who cares? You're dead, right? So we're like, how do you kill people in the Land of the Dead? And so we wanted to have it be that you were essentially brought back to life. Like, it went the other direction. You were returned to flowers. And then flowers become the symbol of death in a weird way in the Land of the Dead. But flowers are such a huge part of the Day of the Dead. Like the marigolds that you use in the Day of the Dead celebration, the smell of marigolds are like a big part of the ceremony. So it was nice to have them be part of the game too. And then at the end of the game, we wanted to have this thing called the meadow, which was just full of flowers, which hopefully by that time would just look like death to you.
What's that?
It's, lumbago lemonade. Try it.
Perkly little aperitif, actually. Yes, sirree. Not bad at all. Tell me where you got that right now!
Olivia's kitchen.
Lumbago lemonade!
Manny, aren't we in a hurry?
Don't worry. This won't take long.
Oh, my stomach don't stretch like it used to.
Oh, Gladys.
Looks like he's about to blow too. So what is that stuff they pack canned hams in anyway? Good show, my friend.
You wouldn't happen to have a breath mint on you, I suppose?
It's not gelling.
It can't gel now. It got all nice and warm in my belly.
Liquid nitrogen, not to be used on bone.
Hey, good idea. I bet I could keep it down now that it's cold.
Just let me get across first, okay? You really should get back in case it blows.
I'm with you guys till the end. You know that.
Piece of cake. Looks better.
Feels better.
A parade of bones trapped in a suspended state. Kind of a metaphor for all of us, really, if you think...
Just defuse the bomb, Manny!
Soon to be known as the blown wagon.
Hey, that's not funny!
I don't know if people agree with me. That was my idea of, what do they call something that makes you barf? Something you take, drink that makes you... No, not expectorant.
No, it's like...
Epicac.
Epicac. That's the
like
syrup.
A verbal epicac.
Yeah.
Manny talks about the stuff they pack canned hams in, because it's always grossed me out, that weird gelatin. Everyone would have a different thing that they'd bring up that would make them barf.
Right.
What's yours?
Yeah. Ipecac.
Oh, look at that.
It sounds like what you do when you eat it.
Ipecac.
Yeah.
I don't know how players are supposed to figure out this puzzle, that you have to fill the floor with regurgitated gelatin. It's not the first thing that jumps into people's minds. Where the hell did you get that?
I forgot there was I forgot there was a regurgitated gelatin puzzle in the game. That's a standard thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, these are still unstabilized. I'd rather defuse the bomb first. I'd better disarm her first. Fiendish. Well, here goes nothing. Looks like Hector's taken over the whole town.
He hasn't had much resistance. There's only one small group who oppose him, and they live out on the fringes of the city.
Places like this, you mean?
I hope they're not hurting Glottis.
Ha. Shows what you know about this group. Their leader is a great man who...
Manuel Calavera, we meet again. I see you have found what you were looking for. How fortunate for you to arrive now, just as we too are about to achieve success. Our army has grown, and right now our top agents are in Hector's weapons lab, about to close in on the enemy in his own den. I couldn't have done it without you, Manuel.
It was a trap!
Stand back. There's only one thing to do.
Thank you, sir. You have saved me. But more than that, you have enabled me to continue to serve the movement.
What did you say about a trap?
Hector uncovered our agent in his weapons lab.
No.
You idiot, Bowsley. Your new lab assistant is a spy. Haven't you ever heard of a background check?
What?
No time to explain. Now I'll have to take matters into my own hands.
Take me with you. I've longed to be of service to your cause for years.
It's the part of that soldier that didn't get up and hop out of here on one hand. Better save this part from sprouting. No, it might come in handy. Hey, Eva finally got that radio working. I take Mecha to all the best places. Calling all cars, calling all cars.
Manuel, is everything okay?
Just testing the equipment, Sal.
Salvador, maybe you should shut that thing off so we can talk.
I remember one day Tony came into the studio and he had a silk shirt on, and on top of the silk shirt he had a sort of a little sweater, sleeveless sweater. And we were recording and it was like, God, what are we hearing? What are we hearing? And the engineer's like, oh, I think it's a sweater. And we're like, hey, Tony, can you take your sweater off? Takes the sweater off. Back to rolling again. Sound's still there. So he took his sweater off and went back to rolling, and turned out it was a shirt that was making the noise. And we were like, Tony, it's the shirt. It's a silk shirt. And so he's like, it's okay. I got a t-shirt on underneath. So he was down,
just stripping down.
He was stripping down into his t-shirt and did the rest of the session in his t-shirt. But that was the thing with Tony, is he just loved, he loved working. And for part of the production, he was shooting at night on a movie, and there were a couple of days where he came in and he only had like a couple hours of, a few hours of sleep. And I remember saying, like, we can reschedule the session, and he's like, no, let's do it. And he always was
Nailed
there
it.
to give it his all.
Hey, Eva finally got that radio working. I bet the agent in this photo is the poor guy that Hector just shot. Nothing else in there besides that agent's photo. Nothing else in there.
I imagine these pigeons being all over the game, everywhere. And they just showed up in a couple places and made me sad.
I think I wrote up a crappy bug about that. And I said, we want more pigeons.
Thank you, man. Thank
Closed.
I think we ran into the polygon limit, and we could only have so many. The pigeons
Were
because
alpha flats. There were many alpha
yeah,
flats.
but there were a lot of them, and they were actually some of the highest poly things in the games.
It's my fault.
Because I think every bone got built on the pigeons.
They were actually really fun to animate.
Yeah, the pigeons were a real fiasco.
It's kind of
Sorry,
hard.
Alex.
It was my first experience.
I appreciate this. Finally brings some closure to the pigeon situation.
I think
I'm answering your bug right now.
Right now. I'm gonna go back and
bug
check this
out.
off.
That was also my first experience animating something and not knowing how it was going to be used. So that was kind of like a different mental shift for me. And it was just the first time I had to make a bunch of idles and loops or, takeoffs and lands that all had to work together. It was pretty interesting. I remember swearing.
Memo to all agents, priority urgent. In light of the recent disappearances, all agents are ordered to avoid travel in unlit areas until further notice. Memo to all, in light of the recent all agents are ordered.
We haven't done it in too many games, but having a year transition between things and changing the location and letting you pick up friends and travel, like, just allows you to have so much character development, where Manny and Glottis have now been through a lot of stuff together, and they're in different clothes, which is, they're in different jobs, and they've moved from town to town together, and just starts to build this real friendship between them, which is nice. And I think I realized I'm going to put 4-year transitions in all games from now on, just so we can have that kind of relationship building.
Who's the plant nut?
That nut is Hector Lamont's personal munitions expert, Bowsley, a.k.a. the florist. That was his job in the old world, but here he's a botanical weapons expert. This has left him fairly conflicted.
Why does he make Sproutella for Hector instead of our side?
We've been trying to recruit him for years, but his lab is in Hector's tower. He's untouchable.
Yeah, I remember having to get extensions. That was like my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
No, I would have to go in because I'd be the same thing. Because I always advocate for the artist, and I did. I mean, that's why I loved working with Tim. He's so creative. And so we would talk and collaborate, and then when I'm like, no, look, this is the date, because I'm trying to say the date, and then he did the, the ship story. And so then we had to go get more time. And I was like, well, how are we going to do that? And then he was like, here's my technique. I go into Jack's office and I stay in there and I threaten to light myself on fire and I just scream and I stay in there until he extends the date. And I'm like, that's a great strategy.
Yeah, it worked.
I know. It worked. Threaten to light myself on fire.
Well,
That's
see,
one
we
of
would
my
never
favorites.
try that in the sound department because Jack would just say, go ahead.
Yeah.
Bet if I could get that plant lover out of there, I could talk him into making a gun for me instead. I wonder if this is little Manny. Come here, little Manny. Ow! Hey, must be little Meche. It's my ex-boss's ex-secretary, Ava.
You're never gonna let me forget the secretary thing, are you?
Any messages for me?
Nope. Calls stopped coming for you the day you left. They're still sending you that lingerie catalog, though.
Hey, Eva finally got that radio working. I take Meche to all the best places. Okay, here's the plan. I need a disguise so I can get close to Hector, and a gun so we'll have something to talk about when I get there.
If you figure out that part, I'll go find out where he is.
His casino tower is directly above these headquarters.
All right, meet me there.
Volunteers quickly for dangerous work. She could be very useful to the cause.
As far as I'm concerned, she is the cause.
One of the standard things that happens in noir is that a guy meets a woman that just spirals him into a world of shadows and intrigue and stuff like that. And sometimes it's because it's a femme fatale who's up to no good, and sometimes it's also a totally innocent woman who just happens to be on this path that she's in sort of trouble, and he gets pulled into it. So you meet Meche in this world, and it spins Manny off into this whole different path. But it's really, for some reason, it was important to me that Manny was actually partially to blame, or feel like he was partially to blame.
Right.
Like he thought he had caused her to be lost.
Right.
When it was actually more Domino's fault that she got sent off. He stole her number 9 ticket.
Well, you didn't want to blame the woman, like
Well, no.
say Double Indemnity does, or
yeah, where she was actually scheming and where this is more just someone who Manny feels like he has caused misfortune to come to.
Right, or Maltese Falcon does, for that matter. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Look at that.
I forgot about this set.
That looks like a painting or something.
Yeah, this is one of the. Yeah, when you get a Peter Chan drawing, this one was a Widowmaker as well, where you just thought, how does that pipe go into that?
Things didn't quite line up.
You know, I was going to say that environment with the pipes in it, it almost had like a Day of the Tentacle or Sam and Max feel to it. There's a lot of distortion in the pipes, and felt a little more wacky than what we see in the rest of the environments.
No, definitely.
Hello down there. Ooh, never mind. Go back to sleep, whatever you are. You know, if I had had a car like this when I was alive, things would have been different. Not right now.
think something that helped make this game, one of the secrets to it, is just watching a lot of old movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of this, it's like some of them are references, but a lot of them are like plot elements, ideas of relationships between people. Is the subtle stuff that came out of watching old black and white movies, because they just did stuff so differently then. And I mean, I know there were formula movies back then, but they're not the current formulas, you know, and they're not as pat as the movies you'd watch today. They're surprising. Like old film noir movies have relationships between people that feel really different than modern relationships. Some of them are messed up and based on old social things, and some of them are just like cooler. It's weird.
Well, there's a certain stoicism that you don't,
and a certain
kind of reserve maybe you don't see in characters.
And a little bit of an honesty in characters. Like nowadays, like you don't think the way people talk now. There's different layers of meaning to everything and different subtexts.
Say everything's cool, which means which means F you, which means that No, it's more like things.
So even though they're old, they're very refreshing, is what I'm saying. Like Casablanca has a lot of just honest people talking honestly to each other in a way that's different than a modern movie.
Can anyone hear me besides the scary monster? Dang. Can anyone Go to sleep, sure thing.
I think something that helped make this game, one of the secrets to it, is just watching a lot of old movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of this, it's like some of them are references, but a lot of them are like plot elements, ideas of relationships between people. Is the subtle stuff that came out of watching old black and white movies, because they just did stuff so differently then. And I mean, I know there were formula movies back then, but they're not the current formulas, and they're not as pat as the movies you'd watch today. They're surprising. Like old film noir movies have relationships between people that feel really different than modern relationships. Some of them are messed up and based on old social things, and some of them are just like cooler. It's weird.
Well, there's a certain stoicism that you don't,
and a certain
kind of reserve maybe you don't see in characters.
And a little bit of an honesty in characters. Like nowadays, like you don't think the way people talk now. There's different layers of meaning to everything and different subtexts.
Say everything's cool, which means which means F you, which means that No, it's more like things.
So even though they're old, they're very refreshing, is what I'm saying. Like Casablanca has a lot of just honest people talking honestly to each other in a way that's different than a modern movie.
The big wall of concept art that was like and 15 feet tall, and you'll see on the internet, probably see some of it on the special edition of these pencil drawings that are and you only get to see them one at a time, but there were hundreds of them, and they were all pinned up to this giant corkboard.
Yeah, it's like wallpaper.
It was amazing to see this beautiful art transform from these pencil drawings on the wall into the game in front of you, and
it kept the style in a lot of cases. I mean, some of the things were the 3D
faithfulness.
Scenes were amazing.
The faithfulness to those original Peter Chan drawings is incredible.
Shoot! That didn't work. Got to figure out some way to disguise this pretty face before I hit the streets. That must be Hector's casino.
It's not like Johnny Thunder lets just anybody in his review. No. I mean, being allowed to wear the Johnny Thunder makeup is an honor. Yes. A privilege.
Yes.
So I said to her, you give me that 10% discount. Of course, as soon as I save up enough money for a double-end ticket, I'm out of here.
You said that?
Well, oh yes, I was mad, you know.
Hector Lamans.
Yeah.
Hey, out of the dressing room. We got all the Thunder Boys we need.
Show business coffee.
Oh, are you here for the Thunder Boy tryouts?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's too bad.
Because we just got the last 2 parts.
Maybe next season.
One of the cool things about this game, too, is that there's a few characters that actually went through costume changes throughout the game, which was a nice detail.
No, and it really gives you a sense of time passing.
Aw, they look just like little Johnny Thunders.
Who you calling little? I am not kidding. You don't see.
Show business coffee.
Really?
Hot.
A real amateur?
Oh, coffee, great.
About time we got a PA around here. Hey, kid, keep it black and keep it coming, all right?
Well, I guess so. Oh, coffee, great.
It's about time.
No kidding.
So then I says... Oh, what did you do that for?
I didn't,
You melted my makeup. I can't go on like this. I took you under my wing, and this is how you pay me back.
No, it's not like that.
Show business coffee.
There's no, this is a really boring fact, I'm going to share it anyway. There's no inventory combinations in Grim Fandango. You can't use an object with another object in your inventory.
Oh, that's right.
So if you want to put the bone in the bone grinder, you have to put them in this receptacle in the room. Another weird mechanical contrivance from my own head. A handheld snow grinder that would plug into a giant snow grinder. I'm sure they have those, right?
Wait, what's a snow grinder?
It's like a fake, like to make fake snow for the show. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't use the hand with the snow grinder.
Oh.
So you put the snow grinder down and then put the hand in it and then pick it up. And that's how you combine. This is a one object combination puzzle we have. I don't know why the lid on it closes. That was like really important technically.
It's a ladder. This snowmaker is huge, but the grinder part looks handheld. Aha! It's a handheld grinder. This lever is attached to the fake snow supply. It's a ladder. I think he'd be happy to know his body was serving the cause like this. I would, but it's full. This lever is attached to the fake snow... This lever is attached to the fake snow supply. It's a bone chipper now.
Hey, kid, this is your lucky day. We got an opening, and you're the newest Thunder Boy in the Johnny Thunder Review.
Yes, I've been working for this moment all my life.
Then sit on down. We got to start your makeup. Now, don't go too far. You never know what time is showtime around here.
That must be Hector's casino.
I relied on Tony Plana to improvise a lot of Spanish because I didn't write any of the Spanish dialogue. I'd write Buddy. It was always like, Buddy, hey, Buddy, what's going on?
And he would
bud?
say F.A.
And he'd go,
or
I'm gonna,
something like
yeah, let's say Carnal, which is like, Carnal was like really close. Like
carnal, like
of
blood brother.
Yeah,
sort
blood
of?
brother.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I think he calls him hermano, like brother, in a few places. And also the Icole. And then there's a really bad word for goat, which he's like, oh, in Cuba, he's a Cuban actor, and he's like, it's not that bad in Cuban. In Mexico, that's a swear word. But I mean, here it's, so there's some Spanish in here that might be not for children.
Need a rating?
Yeah, I need a rating only in Spanish.
Going up?
This elevator goes up straight to the penthouse suite of Hector Lamans. Mr. Lamans, he only do the business with the very select elite clientele.
I think this is his good side. I think this is his good side.
I think he's doing Army. I think that's his deal. He's doing like
Right. Yeah, no, I get
Boy.
it. Yeah, it's like Gomer Pyle. Yeah.
Kind of like Gomer. Not Gomer. No, he's doing I don't know what he's doing.
Well, I mean, not Gomer specifically himself, but that sort of world of humor. Like T. Boone Pickens. No, not T. Boone Pickens, but T-Bone Pickens.
That's some of the most
Slim
visually...
Pickens. There we go. Now,
oh, exactly.
Like Slim Pickens in Doctor Strangelove.
This is where Hector rips off the people too poor to go upstairs. Hey, these work without money. Maybe Hector's not all that bad. I knew it. They're all fixed. Hola. No drinks for me, thanks. Hola. No drinks for me, thanks.
This game was so long and complex and had new characters in like the last act and stuff.
Right.
And I was like, how do we make so much complexity in in 3 years? I know it sounds like a long time to people who don't. A lot of it was that it was double through. It was like 6 years because we also worked all night for 3
Right.
years.
That's true.
We worked all day and all night
That
for
is
3 years.
true.
It's like a 6-year project. And for the good of the games industry, we try not to do that anymore. And people thought when the game was going late, like it took longer than it was not. It was supposed to take like a year, not like 3 years.
Yes.
And people wanted to do it episodically. They're like, let's just release it episodically. But who knows what would happen if we had done that? Because it might not have made Act 2 or Act 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way things are changing at the company.
Hey, what's going on under that raincoat?
I don't know what's going on under that makeup. Agent Calavera?
You? Didn't Salvador chop you in half early this evening?
Yes, which has given me this glorious opportunity to serve the cause by gathering funds for the LSA while stealing from our arch enemy at the same time.
That's one dedicated soldier. What exactly are you doing with these slot machines?
I'll stick myself inside like a finger down the throat of Hector Limons himself, and I'll make the machine regurgitate the wealth it has devoured.
Yeah. Can you crack any machine?
None of these unholy temples is safe from the LSA. Mira!
That's one dedicated soldier. Can you crack any machine?
None of these unholy temples is safe from the LSA. Mira!
What's Chowchilla Charlie doing here in Hector's casino? I knew that suitcase full of counterfeit tickets wasn't his. I Wonder if she's intrigued by my new jaw. Buenos dias.
Back off, sleazeballer. My husband here will bust your jaw.
Meche, it's me.
Manny? That's some costume. Here, help me get Mr. High Roller here into this sheet so we can get out of here.
Hey, is that you, young lady? I'll get you. Not funny. Young lady.
I wonder if she's intrigued by my new jaw. Special assignment just in from Salvador. Crack that machine and leave the change right away. Yes, sir!
Help! Hey! Not funny. Young lady. Help! Oh, for crying out loud. I did it! My system worked! I knew it! I told you!
That's great. Now let's go so you can buy me a drink at the Romano.
I'll meet you at the train station with the tickets. There won't be one for me, so you'll have to go back by yourself.
I'll tell that gatekeeper everything. He has to help us.
Come, my lovely. I have another infallible system I'd like to demonstrate. Ow.
Little tight in the shoulders, but at least it doesn't reek of sled dog. I'm not going up there unarmed. I'm not putting those clothes back on. They stink. I can't go strolling through the halls now. I'm on the lam. I'm not putting those clothes back on. They stink. Salvador? Olivia? Oh, no. Okay, don't bite. This is a note. You like notes, remember? Well, here goes nothing. Go, baby, por la revolución!
One of Hector's messengers. With a message for me? I know what you're up to. I've been watching. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly, Hector Le Mans. I knew it! I knew he was out to get me the whole time! You'll never find my secret hideout, Hector. You're going to have to find yourself another Flores.
Nothing to see but flowers. Nothing to see but flowers. Give me that.
I didn't put in too many late nights, but there was one where I was in the office at 2 in the morning just making notes on the script, and all of a sudden Chuck Jordan walks by my office and says, "Hi." And there was a way about him that 10 minutes later I got up from my desk and went over to his office and went in and said, "Did you just get in?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I get in at 2. At 2 in the morning." He's like, "Yeah." And I guess that he had put in so many late nights that his whole time clock had shifted. And so he said to Tim, he's like, "Hey, is it okay if I just come in at 2 in the morning?" And Tim was like, "Sure."
You know, if I had had a car like this when I was alive, things would have been different.
Not so high! Watch the chrome! Not so high! Watch the chrome!
You know, no use for it. No use for it. I saw Bowsley run down here. Where did he go? The flakes of bone are sprouting when they hit the puddle and turning into baby tears. Okay, I think I could follow the trail this way, but I need a little light.
Hey, what's that?
That must be the Flores hideout.
No, not that. The thing coming at us!
I can't reach that high. This remote control works the bone wagon suspension. Poor bone wagon. Out of the regurgitated gelatin straight to the alligator-infested sewer. Hey, pink eye, come and get me.
There was a certain amount of improvisation. The more towards the end of the game you got, the more the musicians improvise. And so, sort of like
this
everything's...
sounds like the Meadow kind of, isn't it?
It is. It's a little bit like that. In fact, I think it's a remix of some of the tracks I used in the Meadow. And they're sort of riffing on the Hector theme.
Wait, how are they? Where's the Hector theme in this?
The da-da-da is part of...
Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God. You're ripping this whole game wide open with this Hector conspiracy.
Kind of this, yeah. It's what I do is hum the Hector theme to them before they would start jamming.
That thing is ugly, and it's in my way. Yeah, you heard me.
I really didn't like early 3D,
Yeah.
like 90s 3D, because I
Right.
always thought it looked like cardboard boxes that were taped together and that someone had dragged nylons over, you know? And that implies a lot more smooth skinning than actually existed. It was really like, it was really, and then everything was painted on the outside, even things that should be modeled as an interior space, like ribs on a skeleton or something. Everything was painted on the outside.
Right.
And it looked ridiculous.
So it looked like everybody was wearing a Halloween costume anyway.
Yeah, and then I saw those papier-mâché skeletons where they painted the ribs on the outside, and I was like, this is perfect. This kind of folk art would actually look really good in 3D. There was a lot of pressure to get into 3D back then because it was seen as the future. I mean, obviously it was because a lot of everything turned into 3D, but 2D is still a big money-making thing in games too.
I love what Bowsley's done with the joint.
Hector? Hector, is that you? You better back off, man!
There's a character who shows up later on called the Florist, who was played by a great actor called Keith Sarabajka, who I've worked with a lot over the years. And Keith, oftentimes when he auditions, the characters that the way he does his auditions, they're not usually safe choices that he makes. And the first time I came across him was he was auditioning for Boston Low, and he just, Boston Low's a space commander, and Keith was doing something very deep and dark and strange, and because his last name is Zarabajka, it just sort of stuck in my head, and I used to always look forward to whatever audition Keith was going to throw our way, and they were always bizarre and never appropriate. And then when he auditioned for the Florist, who's insane because he, in the real world, is a florist and deals with flowers, which are beautiful things, but in the Grim Fandango world, it's death. He's gone crazy, and he's deranged, and Keith just nailed the part and was just brilliant. And it was at that moment that I realized, oh, he's actually a normal dude, and he can do all sorts of other things, but just his audition choices are different and unusual.
You haven't seen the meadow. You wanna take a walk in the meadow, punk? And then he says to me, you'll get benefits! I need to...
I'm picking up a lot of anxiety here.
That's not helping!
Listen, Bowsley, I'm not here to hurt you.
Listen, Bowsley, I'm here to hurt you. Hector, is that you?
Judging by the emblem, these cases are full of Sproutella.
Yeah, the good stuff, too. None of that slow... What's that? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Get back! Put your hands over your head! Put your head in your hands! Put your head in your lap! Burn food!
At least he's got some of the bodies on ice.
Rosy.
It's locked.
There's other shut. Fresh
At least he's
discounts.
got some of the bodies on ice.
I'm thinking I better... Things are gonna change
Looks like
around
a big
here.
ball of tape screwed to the wall. That's the most gruesome window display I've ever seen. I'm not touching any of these human remains.
That's a gruesome display. I'm not touched. This human remains sane.
It's not Hector. It's Manny Calavera.
It's not Hector. It's Manny Calavera come to sprout ya.
Look, I need a gun to put Hector out of business.
Look, I need a gun. I need Hector. We're in business. Plans are beautiful.
Listen, I really need that gun.
You people, you think plants are death? Plants are life. You're all death.
So, yeah, one of the things that I think people don't realize is it's not just pre-rendered art, but there's pre-rendered Z buffers.
That's right.
Through the whole thing. And we thought that the pre-rendered Z buffers would just do all the work for us, and it turned out that if you look through the game data, the pre-rendered Z buffers, there's a lot of hand-painted pre-rendered Z buffers. We made a Z buffer editing tool, which was funky because it's 16-bit data, and you can't edit 16-bit data in an 8-bit monitor. So
it was grayscale. It looks like a ghost scene. It's like you look into like a foggy version of the world.
Yeah, so we did like a quantized 8-bit version of it, and you could paint into it, and then people would just use like big boxes and find places there where he was clipping or we didn't want him to clip. A lot of it was he was slightly behind something and he shouldn't have been. So you would like go into the edge of the sofa or something and you just black it out.
Black it out, yeah.
So that he would pop in front of it.
Yep.
Is that what you want? Everybody lies.
That's no way to treat an agent of the LSA.
Can I help you? Can I
I'm
help
picking
you?
up a lot of anxiety here.
Can I help you? Can I friggin' help you? Ding, ding, ding! Would you like a
There
baby's
can't be
breath
too
with
much
that?
in here. I'd better save it.
The little bell told me I'm a florist. I am not a florist! I am a manufacturer of weapons! It's like people. There are good plans, and there are bad plans. Hey, do you know what you just did? You just opened Pandora's box! You get out of here right now or I'll let you have it. Hey there, stranger. Can I help you?
I'm looking for something in a 9mm.
Oh, well, I have a very pretty bouquet of that right here. There you go. Would you like some baby's breath to go with that?
Sure.
All right, here you go. You have a great day now.
I'm here to conduct business with Hector Lamans. I just spoke with him on the phone and he's expecting me.
You know Hector Lamans, eh? Okie dokie. Then answer me this one simple question. Okay. How many times has Hector Lamans unsuccessfully run for mayor? Yeah, well, that was an easy one.
Too bad. I win.
Best 2 out of 3.
Don't mess with me. I know Hector Lamans. I'll bet Hector pauses here every day and thinks to himself, boy, I wish I could see past my gut and enjoy my expensive monogrammed floor.
Remember during Full Throttle you saying, you know what we've never made here is just a real like swing era, like crime, film noir story. And it always kind of stuck with me because I was like, yeah, we never have done one of those. We should do one because I don't know what started this. A lot of us at the company were starting to get into film noir. I don't know if it was because there was a film festival at the Lark Theater where they showed every single great noir film and we went to that, or if it was just we were at that age where you started reading Raymond Chandler. We talked about Raymond Chandler a lot in the office too.
Yeah.
You were like, she was so cold, a lump of spumoni wouldn't melt on her shoulder.
Slice of spumoni wouldn't have melted on her shoulder.
It stuck with me, and I was like, man, I got to read more Raymond Chandler.
Yeah,
so that started me on
he's
that.
Awesome. Yeah, and during, it was either Day of the Tentacle or Full Throttle, I wrote a little gangster theme just because I thought it would be cool. It just popped in my head, and I wanted to put the melody down. And that might have prompted that comment about it'd be cool if we did a noir thing someday.
Through this dark portal, an innocent man shall pass. And through this dark portal, an innocent man shall pass and arrive on the other side, innocent still, but colder of heart. Looks like Celso found his wife after all.
How did I put that in there? I didn't know that happened. Manny actually got to do some salesmanship. Manny actually got to be a travel agent at one point in the game. I've totally forgotten that. Genius. Whoever made this is a genius. That's what this commentary is all about. Just me watching things and being like, oh, dang. Good job.
Yeah, nice going, nice going.
Celso Flores, what are you doing in Hector Lemon's waiting room?
Oh, he sent us out here to make up our minds about his offer. Who are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm your travel agent.
Oh, I have a travel agent already, but he's miles away mopping floors in an automat, so I suppose the position is open.
Actually, I work for Hector. He sent me to answer your questions.
I'll handle this, my sweet one. What can you tell me about these double N tickets? This price seems much more than double.
It's a scam. The tickets are counterfeit. Take your money and run.
Ho, ho, ho! Don't try any of that tricky reverse psychology on me, my friend.
The real question is, don't you feel you're worth it?
I know we're worth it, but are the tickets worth it?
What exactly are you saving your money for? A rainy day? Because let me tell you, you're dead. Every day is rainy from now on.
Yes, but there's no reason not to be careful with your money.
Well, they cost a mint because they save you a mint.
Well, I don't have a mint, so what do I care?
Well, enough about you guys. Let me tell you about my problems.
Actually, we have a lot of talking we need to do, so...
I can't raise my arms in this suit.
Well, let's just hope no one pulls a gun on you tonight, huh?
I just got back from the worst vacation I've ever had.
Actually, I just got back from quite an adventure myself, so...
Well, I'm sure you've seen flying spiders and flaming beavers, but trust me, it gets worse. You see, I've been to the edge of the world and back.
I had no idea traveling the land of the dead was so fraught with peril.
Now, how much would you pay just to skip the whole thing?
Darling, come. Let us blow our nest egg together. Mr. Lamans, we've decided to take you up on your generous offer.
Excellent. Excellent. The little lady changed your mind, eh?
No, actually, it was your agent over there.
Of course. He's one of my best. Well, come on in. Let's chat, shall we?
Still got it. I'll bet Hector pauses here every day and thinks to himself, boy, I wish I could see past my gut.
I don't know who you are, and I don't know what spell you cast on a Flores couple, but stick around. Once I'm done with them, there's something across town I'd like to show you. Am I talking about just a job here, or am I talking about opportunity in the general sense? We've had a lot of openings in this office in the last couple of years, and frankly, we've had trouble filling them. I could really use a closer like you on the team. This could be your office. Yeah, try this on. See how it feels. That's yours too. And as an added bonus, 2% of these, Mr.
My name's Calavera, and I want a bigger cut.
Oh, but Mr. Calavera, I'm going to need most of these to get myself out of this world. You see, I've been a very bad boy.
I'm going to deliver those tickets to their rightful owners, and I'm going to deliver you to the compost pile.
Hello? Pigeons? Friends now?
All we had to do was extract the text lines and just do it what they'd always done for all the Scum games. But I had a brother who's a screenwriter in Hollywood, and he had, all these special tools to format his scripts, as a screenplay. And I was like, it would be really cool if I gave Dara something he could bring into those guys who are really familiar with screenplays. He could bring them something that looked like a screenplay. So when I wrote the dialogue extraction, I made it actually format it like a script and actually do the characters going back and forth. And I gave Tim a way that he could indicate in comments in the code. If you format the comments a certain way, she pouts or huffily or some other kind of cue, I would extract that and put it along with it. So just like in a normal screenplay, you'd have here's my line, and it's haughty or whatever. You'd have some cue to the actor about how it's supposed to be read. And I even put in scene markers, this is in the High Roller Casino, or this is exterior docks, so they had a context for where it was in the game. And through the magic of HTML, when the web was new, I was able to just spit out HTML. So that's what I did. I wrote something that made a screenplay-looking thing in HTML, and then they were able to print out and take it down there.
I think using that old gargle as a structural support for Glamour Girl here was a bad idea. Well, so much for my third arm. Can't sprout that. They look bony to me, but she probably thinks they're fat. Well, it was gonna happen eventually.
All we had to do was extract the text lines and just do it. But I had a brother who's
That one must be yours.
Don't forget to send for help.
Find Salvador!
Get in, quick!
We were supposed to have coverage back there. Where are all of Salvador's men?
I don't know. He hasn't told me yet.
Hola, Manuel.
Time for you to swing, Daddy-O. Let's see you walk.
These flowers? All people Hector has sprouted?
Hey, when you're on top like my boyfriend Hector is, you make a lot of enemies. What?
You really have bad taste in men.
No, I have a taste for really bad men. There's a difference.
Hector supplies water to keep the flowers alive? Does he see them as a memorial or as trophies? Not thirsty.
Oh, I think I thought of the scary thing that ends in a greenhouse. It's Frosty the Snowman. Remember? Frosty the Snowman, they travel with the snowman, and then she needs to stay warm, so he brings her in. She's going to freeze to death, so he brings her into a greenhouse, but then the bad magician locks him inside the greenhouse.
Oh, so it's like
so
a
he
version
melts,
of Frozen.
and I almost cry every time.
Oh.
And then Santa comes and reminds you that it's magic snow, Christmas snow that he's made out of. Okay.
Oh my goodness, I missed out on that.
So this is obviously a reference to Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, that's a famous noir for sure.
Mm-hmm. Modern noir.
Yeah.
Its themes are subtle.
This must be Hector's murderous mausoleum.
She loves me. She loves me not.
Well, you're half right.
Oh, Manny, so cynical. What happened to you, Manny, that caused you to lose your sense of hope, your love of life?
I died.
I see. I guess Domino was right. You don't have a shred of optimism.
Well, when it comes to shreds, Dom is the expert.
And by that same logic, Manny, you're about to become an expert in botany.
Is this where you tell me all about your secret plan, Hector? How you stole double-N tickets from innocent souls, pretended to sell them but really hoarded them all for yourself in a desperate attempt to get out of the land of the dead?
No. This is where you writhe around in excruciating pain for about an hour because that idiot Bowsley ran off with all their fast-acting Sproutella. This slow stuff will sprout you, but it's going to take a long time, I'm sorry to say. Manny, where are you going? You've got some time, you know, before you have to leave. Get it? Leave!
Green. Spreading. So painful. Oh. Green. Spreading. So painful. Ah. Gracias, Toto Santos.
Come on, shake it for me, baby. One of you must be mine.
He truly gave his body to the cause.
Manuel, listen carefully. There's a gun in the trunk of this car, but the trunk key is with my body somewhere in the meadow behind the greenhouse. Find it!
Right.
And tell Eva that I know she will guide the Alliance wisely when I am gone. When I bite this explosive tooth, the deadly cloud will sprout not just my target, but me as well.
Your target? What are you...
Hey, get out of there!
Farewell, my friend!
What were you talking about with the head of the LSA in there? Huh, Sal? Got something you want to share with the class?
Only this. Viva la revolución! Ah!
He truly gave his body to the cause. He's fine right where he is. Nothing like the real McCoy. Hey, my scythe. Well, what do you know? Sal had a ticket all along.
Well, I think it's neat too that we've just with Tim's storytelling, we come to see flowers as a bad thing, and to see an actual, meadow full of flowers. It makes something that would be pretty ominous. It's grotesque. Yeah, it's
a mass grave.
That's crazy. That's a lot of flowers. That's a lot of polygons right there.
Yeah, those are individual flowers in the foreground, and then in the background that they were, pardon me, textures.
And Paul didn't copy and paste any of them. He built each one.
I grew them digitally. I put water on
He built them really small, and then I had to animate and scale each one of them up to the proper size.
It's amazing how Salvador's ticket is still drawn to him. It's amazing how Salvador's ticket is still drawn to him. It's not doing anything now. This must be Hector's murderous mausoleum. Seems to be attracted to something over this way. Seems to be attracted to something over this way. It's not doing anything now. I don't really want to do that. Loteria. This must be the key to Salvador's trunk. This must be the key. I hope the LSA got a good deal on this car. Ah, yes. Lots of ammo. Freeze, Hector. Yeah, you heard me. This must be Hector. Freeze, Hector. Yeah, you heard me. I'm not getting any closer until he runs out of ammo. If he runs out of ammo, that is. That doesn't sound good.
You can count them if you want. They're all here.
How about yours?
The company gave me one on the other end. Sort of a retirement present. And, demons ride free, right?
Aw, Manny, you know I can't go with you. I'm a spirit of the land and all that. I can't ever leave this world.
I guess I got so wrapped up in saving people, I just assumed I'd be able to save you too.
Yeah, but I don't need to be saved. I like it here. I'm not all alone in that basement anymore, thanks to you. I got a new job and all these new friends. I'm a big demon success story.
So, I guess this is it then.
Come here, give me a hug. You were the best boss I ever had. Bye.
Manny,
Yeah?
when we get to the next world,
What is it, Angel?
are we going to be together?
You know, sweetheart, if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Nobody knows what's gonna happen at the end of the line, so you might as well enjoy the trip.
Bye.